Welcome back.
Some disgusting chair noises to start this episode off.
Culture Cafe episode 2.
Episode 2 indeed.
Episode 2.
How are you going, Curtis?
Very well. Yourself, Owen?
I'm good. I'm just enjoying a coffee.
Likewise.
Getting ready to jump into it.
What are you drinking, mate?
I'm drinking a long black from a dripulator. What are you drinking?
I too am drinking a long black from a dripulator.
That makes sense.
It's very delicious.
It is quite delicious. No worries. Any time.
Cheers.
Cheers to the Culture Cafe, episode 2.
So, we're going to start off by giving you a little agenda of what's happening today.
Yeah.
Why don't you take us away, Owen? What's happening first?
Take us away. Well, actually, I haven't got the agenda up on my computer yet.
Okay, well, I do, so let's go with it. So, agenda, introduction. That's what's happening right now. We're doing an introduction.
Rough, but I like it.
Yeah. So first up, we're going to be, as mentioned on our Instagram on Tuesday, we're going to be bringing you the most interesting conspiracy theory we could find.
Yes, most interesting and perhaps most outlandish.
Yeah.
So bear with us if some of the ideas presented don't immediately sink in, but it's going to be our goal to have you somewhat believing in these theories, or at least questioning them by the end of the episode.
I'm not too confident in my conspiracy theory, Owen, to be honest with you.
Neither am I, but I'm going to have a real crack at it.
It was a last minute job, late minute job last night.
Last minute job late last night.
Both of those.
How about that?
Yes.
In one sentence.
I agree. Secondly, after we take you through the conspiracy theories that we've dug up over the past week, we're going to reveal the new segments that you can expect from us each episode.
Which is super exciting. Can't wait for that.
Really excited for the segments. So, number 1, number 2.
Well, number 3 on the agenda. Go through 1 to 3.
Yeah, apparently that's what I put there.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I'm not sure. My Google Docs, I've been. Yeah.
It's been a late night.
It was a late night job as well.
That's all right. Well, I was going deep in my conspiracy, and I will admit I woke up quite tired and frazzled this morning.
No.
So
see, that's one skill I don't have: staying up late.
Can't do it.
Not
well,
a
let's
night
do
owl,
an
my friend.
episode on that sometime soon.
How to stay up extremely late.
Or why you shouldn't do that.
I think you'd have a fair bit to say on that one.
Yeah, I would have a fair bit to say about staying up. Anyway.
Right.
Okay.
So, in terms of conspiracy theories, would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
I wouldn't mind if you went first, and then I'll just bring you along. All right.
Okay.
I'll lead you along and ask you some questions, which will let you open up your conspiracy to the viewers.
Fantastic.
Now, before we start, we would like to say that if we go missing after this episode is released, that we were just on a quest for truth. And if we do go missing, can someone please take the flame and continue forth on the quest for truth that we are starting in 3, 2, 1. What is your conspiracy?
Pine Gap Military Research Centre, located in the Northern Territory of Australia, harbours alien extraterrestrial life.
Yeah.
Now, I decided to stay close to home with this one. I wanted to go for an Australian's conspiracy theory specifically. And, most of you probably haven't heard of Pine Gap. There's a good reason for that.
I haven't.
The government don't want you to hear about Pine Gap, mate.
They don't.
So, I dug this up from a Nat Geo article that gave me a bit of an introduction. So I'm just going to read off a quote, just to bring you into it.
Go.
So, Australia's Area 51. The Joint Defence Facility Pine Gap is a secretive facility near Alice Springs that's run by both the US and Australian governments. The government's unwillingness to reveal any details about the facility has led to a variety of ideas about what exactly goes on there. Theories include building an underground city for elites when the world is destroyed, researching alien technology, and creating a death ray. Some even claim the site exists in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th dimensions.
Okay, interesting. So, just to recap, it's a military base in North Darwin.
8 kilometres from Alice Springs,
8
Northern
kilometres
Territory.
from Alice Springs. Okay, so it's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
All right.
18 kilometres.
18 kilometres, right. And you're saying that it's a secret weapons facility and they're harbouring aliens.
I'm saying they're harbouring... What the specific conspiracy that I looked into a bit was that there might be alien life located in the base.
Yeah. What I'm interested... I just heard you say that they want to start an advanced civilization once this current one crumbles.
So,
Did I hear that correctly?
theories include building an underground city for the elites when the world is destroyed.
Very interesting. We're going to have to revisit that one time.
Yeah?
Yeah. Anyway, extraterrestrial life forms.
So, right, let's go.
Let's go, baby.
So the biggest conspiracy regarding Pine Gap is that they're harboring aliens. So there's been more than one claim from people that they have seen UFOs in and around that area of, I'm not actually exactly sure which desert it is, but it's the desert in which Alice Springs is in the Northern Territory.
Yeah.
2 hunters out for an overnight jaunt claim to see lights descending from space towards them. That's a double.
That's pretty interesting.
But what gets me more is 2 Northern Territory police officers claim they saw alien lights beaming light down to one of the many radomes scattered over the base. So the radomes are these specific structures that are for receiving information from satellites.
I've just pulled it up here on my device.
You googled
I'm
radome?
having a look. It's looking pretty interesting, mate.
And even one guy says he was recruited by aliens to become a Men in Black type figure. So one that tries to track down other people for the government and make them stop telling people that they've seen UFOs. Interestingly, not far at all from the Pine Gap Research Centre, I'll get into that later as well, is Wycliffe Well, which is an area that is literally listed as being the UFO capital of Australia. There's a themed restaurant, there's themed everything. It's like a tourist destination for alien extraterrestrial activity.
Yeah.
So that's just reinforces the sort of paranoia around the region.
It is strange that area exists right near Pine Gap military base.
What a coincidence.
That is a huge coincidence.
I think not.
I think the sneaky sound system may have been right when they said that they saw a UFO, but we believe them.
We believe them. That song was playing on my car radio this morning, in Emma's car.
Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot
So,
to take in.
interestingly, just a little bit more history about the base. I just thought it'd be interesting to put in there. It was established in 1966 in the middle of the US-Soviet space race to people would think, it's to assist the states in, getting some more information about that.
Yeah, we're going to go to the moon. Yeah.
So Pine Gap is the common name for the Joint Defence Facility Pine Gap, previously known as the Joint Defence Space Research Facility. No real space research was undertaken at that facility, and that was actually confirmed by 2013 leaks by Edward Snowden of WikiLeaks, who did actually uncover the fact that, quite interestingly, that the site was also used. It was primarily used for Australia to help receive information from US satellites that were monitoring radioactivity in the Middle East, and it fed the information to the US drone program. So Australia was basically very instrumental in all those terrible, terrible civilian casualties.
Those drone strikes that
made WikiLeaks so famous for releasing those videos.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shit.
So they've already called it a space research facility, and
which in the past was bullshit.
Maybe, I don't know exactly what they were doing in the 20th century, but this century they've been using it for information on the Middle Eastern separatists. Okay.
Wow. And there's aliens there.
There's aliens there, apparently.
There's aliens there.
The aliens there. So yeah, we really have are case studies, people mentioning this, individual reports. So there was the 2 hunters who were out. They saw an alien craft emerge from a secret door hidden in the earth.
Secret door
in the earth. An alien craft appeared from that. Of course, this wouldn't have actually been in Pine Gap, I don't think, because I think it's very hard to get into. I don't think you can actually get in there.
They may have seen... Well, maybe there's tunnels underneath Pine Gap that go out into the desert.
Well, if they're building an elite society underground, you'd think they'd need some tunnels.
Yeah, it's not going to be... how big is this Pine Gap? I'm having a look at a photo of it now. It's definitely not big enough to host an elite civilization. So it must be bigger underneath.
It must expand beyond the borders.
It's a facade.
Yeah. And all the roads on it on Google Maps have no names. They're just called track on Google Maps because you don't want to be able to know where the roads go, etc. But what gets me the most is the 2 Northern Territory police officers who went on the record to say that because they're like uniformed officers of the government.
Yeah, and they went on the record
to say that they saw an alien craft beaming light down to one of the many radomes scattered over the base.
And government officials never lie.
They never lie.
Ever.
They're so reliable.
They don't lie.
They never lie.
They only tell us the truth.
Exactly.
Suspicious.
So, Pine Gap in the Northern Territory, a US-Australian coalition-led... they called it a space research facility, but it was really for defense purposes. Apparently harbours alien life. That's a conspiracy theory that I found.
Okay, so I want our viewers to take a second, maybe pause the video, or don't, keep watching. But have a think about that theory. Do you believe that there are aliens hidden or hiding in the Pine Gap military/space station?
Because to be honest, I didn't go too deep with this. If you could go further and actually find out the exact statements made by the hunters or the police officers who never lie, that would be really interesting.
Yeah, and hit us up, send us a message, comment on the YouTube video or the Instagram post for this video. Let us know if you believe if there are aliens lurking. And also let us know if government officials would ever lie. Because that's a conspiracy in itself. Well, actually, it's not, because they wouldn't lie. Yeah,
no, they never do.
All right, well, I can safely say that I'm 100% convinced the evidence you've brought forth, albeit anecdotal, I believe it. I think there's aliens underneath Pine Gap. Okay, do you want to explain what just happened?
Sure. Welcome back. We had some technical difficulties just before. We ran out of space on the SD card. We've upgraded size to a 32 gig, and hopefully that runs us through.
Hopefully it does. Hopefully when it said that there was a 4 gig limit, that was for that SD card and not all SD cards on this camera.
Scary.
I just thought of that. We'll keep an eye on the camera. If we have to stop again, we'll be back. We'll make it work in post.
Why don't you take us through your conspiracy theory, Owen?
That's what we're up to, isn't it? Okay. Before we were so rudely interrupted. Now, my conspiracy theory is a little bit outlandish and it's quite broad. Okay, it's a topic. The conspiracy theory itself, I've never actually believed in until I did my reading, of course, and I'm now I'm a full believer.
You know the truth now.
I know the truth now, and I'm going to share that truth. Because this is the quest for truth. Okay, let me stop being silly. Ancient civilizations. Pretty interesting, right? And lost civilizations. I don't know if anyone's seen Joe Rogan's podcast with Graham Hancock, but I heard it. It was a little bit outlandish, but after finishing it, I was like...
Is he the archaeologist?
He's not even a certified archaeologist.
Right.
He just reads into this shit.
Yeah.
After listening to it, I was like, oh, hey, it'd be pretty interesting if this stuff was cool. Anyway, I'm going to stop fluffing about and tell you what my theory is.
Fluffing, mate.
Look!
This guy, how much fluff?
Ancient civilizations were visited by aliens.
Oh, I've heard, yeah.
I'm about to go deep.
We've both gone for an alien one,
which is a conspiracy in itself.
Do they exist?
Have we already been programmed to talk about aliens? Maybe. It's in the water. Chemtrails. Oh. So.
Fluoride.
So the first thing I want to bring to your attention and the viewers' attention is the Dogon tribe, which is a tribe located in West Africa. They settled in between the 10th and 13th centuries. That's about as close as archaeologists can get in terms of giving us a date. Was that in
West Africa?
West Africa, yeah. So, the Dogon tribe.
Do they still exist?
I don't know.
Okay.
I assume they do. No, they do actually. No, they 100% do, because my next point is, in the 1930s and then again in the 1940s, Marcel Grioulet, I'm definitely not saying that right, Marcel, a French anthropologist, found that the Dogons had a strangely advanced knowledge of space. Now, they didn't just have this knowledge of space as something that they all knew as common knowledge. It was grounded in their cultural beliefs. Okay, so in their myths, their legends, their religion, you could say. In their culture cafe.
I know where you're going with this. Because multiple different civilizations have the same information?
Not quite.
Okay.
Actually, no, but you've just brought up a really interesting point.
I've heard something like that.
I think I have too.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is a list of the knowledge they had. Our planets orbit the sun. Earth spins on an axis. Saturn has rings. Jupiter has 4 moons. Now this is the interesting one. The star Sirius A is part of a double star system containing Sirius B. So Sirius A and Sirius B are 2 stars in a double star system. Blech, a lot of S's, I'm struggling. This star system has Sirius B, which has a 50-year orbit, okay? And this...
Around A.
And the second star, Sirius B, is invisible to the naked human eye. Interesting. I wonder how they knew about this second star. Do you wonder as well? I'm going to tell you. Do you wonder?
I wonder they might study the period where one occludes the other in the orbit and it becomes extra bright.
That's an interesting theory, like but the whole orbit is naked to the human eye because humans, as if the Dogons weren't humans. What have I done? No.
They were aliens, weren't they? Obviously.
Maybe. Modern civilizations could only figure out that Sirius B existed through the use of the theory of relativity and quantum mechanics and advanced telescope technology. So...
Sorry.
You're busy. Yeah?
Yeah, I've just muted it, alright?
Man. Well, just
It's muted now.
You just got to stay focused.
Okay. Yeah,
bro. Just make sure you.
I just got an email, alright?
To the Culture Cafe.
First B from the Culture Cafe.
Sorry, I'm gonna get straight into this because I'm fluffing about. None of this, what they saw, could have been achieved without remarkable eyesight, which the Dogons, as a tribe, were not reported to possess. There is no evidence that they had advanced eyesight, okay?
Or telescopes.
They definitely didn't have telescopes. They didn't, but did an ancient alien civilization that visited them have telescopes, which they then shared? Were the Dogon tribe taught about this information, especially the star system, by an advanced alien or lost alien civilization which visited during the 10th and 13th centuries? Their mythology reports them being visited by a being called the Nomo, which were amphibious creatures from space. This is in their literature, in their mythology, all right?
Mythology.
Yeah. And, mythology...
Which we could keep note of, mythology we know does say some pretty interesting things.
It does. The problem is, with this theory, all this information came from Marcel the Frenchman. No Dogon has ever reported this. Was Marcel setting up a story? Or did he truly find out a key piece of evidence that the Dogons were visited by aliens?
Do you know a friend or family member who is a member of the Dogon tribe? If possible, please get them on, because we need to know.
Get them to send us a carrier pigeon with a note in it.
Because, Marcel, the Western imperialist, can we find someone who actually...
And he just wanted a bit of attention. He wanted keeping up with the Marcels. Yeah. That's all he wanted. Yeah. All right. Has it worked? Maybe. Moving on. We are talking about him. We are keeping up with him. Yeah. Now, moving into aliens visiting. That was just a little taster, a little entree for you all. Let's talk about the pyramids. How did the Egyptians build the pyramids? All right.
Don't know.
Were they extremely talented, hard workers?
Thousands and thousands of slaves.
Maybe, but how did they get it all right? They had the slaves, but how did they get it so accurate? Can I hit you with some stats?
Yeah, okay.
Can I not let you talk while I give you this conspiracy?
Sure, and I can hit you with some information I learned in architecture course as well.
I'm kidding. Please challenge this conspiracy.
Okay. I can't even remember, I can't put names to or anything, but I knew that there was some, we know that Arab mathematicians were so far in front of the, I learned about something in a maths class the other day, but about Snell's law. You can Google that if you want, but as someone, there was an an Egyptian, I think, even possibly scholar who discovered this specific law about the diffraction of light, like so far, thousands of years before the Westerners claimed, Snell claimed that he found that.
And then we lost all that information when the Great Library of Alexandria burned down.
Really?
Yeah. Well, and that's not even a conspiracy. This massive library which was built
in Cairo, wasn't it, a long time ago?
Yeah, there's a whole conspiracy about did the Christians, Jews, or Muslims burn it down? Was it Julius Caesar? That's something else we can talk about, I guess, on a little bit of a tangent. I'll get back to the pyramids though. So the pyramids of Giza were constructed between 2550 BC and 2490 BC. So they were designed to honor the gods. All right. Now, were the gods aliens? Were they honoring these aliens? Did the aliens come down and say, hey, we want you to build us a couple of pyramids. We'll be your gods, and we'll show you how to build these pyramids so well. Okay? Maybe. I don't know. All right? What do you reckon? The Great Pyramid itself, the biggest one, the wonder of the world, is 481 feet high. It's 756 feet wide on each side, and the area of each side is 5.5 acres. All angles of the pyramid are a near perfect 90-degree angle, which is very interesting considering the sheer size of the thing. Now, it was built with roughly 2.5 million stones, each weighing 2.5 to 15 tons, reported to have taken 23 years. That's 2.5 minutes. Every 2.5 minutes, one block needs to have been laying down every day of the week for 23 years.
With no rest.
With no rest. Constant. All right? Now, okay, fair enough. That's a pretty insane work ethic. They had thousands of slaves, tens of thousands of slaves. So yeah, maybe they could have put them under the pump and got this done. But the Egyptians had no pulleys, no wheels, and no work animals. All right? Not that we're reported about anyway. So how did they get all these blocks placed without the help of all these tools that we have today? And do it in such a short amount of time at such a high pace?
And it took them 23 years?
It took them 23 years.
For Giza? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The Great Pyramid of Giza is also perfectly aligned with magnetic north. Perfectly. All right, that's pretty interesting. How could they have known?
On which axis? Because it's a pyramid, though. How do they know what direction it's pointing in?
That's a really interesting point that I didn't bother to research. Shut up.
I feel bad because with my conspiracy, you're like, yeah, bro, fucking aliens live under pine cap, and I'm like, bro, like none of this makes sense.
It does make sense. What are you talking about?
No, I'm coming around to it, right?
All right, wait, I still got more information for you.
Please, give me this number.
All three pyramids align with the Orion's Belt star configuration, which is very interesting. They align perfectly. I'm sure you've seen the photos.
Oh, I have.
You have?
No.
You haven't?
No, but I'm like, how does a pyramid align with anything? It just goes directly upwards.
Yeah, that's what I was seeing as well, but you have to believe.
Okay.
It's like, you just have
probably
to believe.
Maybe they mean like when you see it as like a diamond, maybe it points in a certain direction.
Well, no, this the front of each pyramid, is there not? Like the entrance.
Yeah, oh yeah, okay, I see.
So I assume the entrance, when they say that it aligns perfectly with magnetic north, it must, like, you look there. Anyway, there's like legit photos. You can probably Google it right now. Are you on the internet?
I am.
You can probably have a quick Google, like, pyramids of Giza and Orion's Belt. It's a nice photo to look at regardless. Anyway, back to the conspiracy. The pyramids were called...
Oh, no fucking way. Like when you see it from a perspective and they're all lined up above it.
Yeah.
That is insane. However, I will argue that through, specific photographic techniques, you could make that happen. Possibly.
Oh, you think it's edited?
Oh, no. Not like editing, like if you get that angle right,
Oh, yeah, like you just tilt the camera that way
and like at a certain time of year, stars move around.
And you could just make up a star configuration.
I'm just putting in some skepticism.
Sprinkling a little bit of skepticism.
Yeah.
I like that. Because, obviously I need to hear the skepticism because I'm a full-fledged believer that aliens built the pyramids. And yeah, so are you guys now. Just wait, I got more. The pyramids were called in the literature Ikhet. I'm not saying that
What?
right. Ikhet.
Okay.
Ikhet. Now, Ikhet means glorious light. Right? Glorious light. What do we see when the UFOs fly over?
A lot of light.
A lot of glorious light, might
Glorious.
I add. Okay? So, were these talking about the glorious lights that came to visit them, and thus they were building them to pay homage to these aliens or gods which had the glorious light? Interesting thought. Have a think about that.
Interesting thought. I have learned at uni that because they were a heliocentric religion, what the ancient Egyptians, so they worshipped the sun. That's one of that could be what the glorious light refers to, and also it is aligned with the sun's axis where it rises and sets.
Yeah.
Relative to, is it outside of Cairo? Outside of Alexandria?
It's like just outside of Giza.
Yeah.
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 Giza. I'm so bad with my geography.
That's
Let's
alright.
get a quick
But obviously, more likely to be aliens than the sun.
Well, obviously, yeah, but I'm glad that you're bringing that skepticism to the table. Obviously, I'm going to shut you down and tell you that you're wrong, and it's definitely aliens.
Well, that's a healthy debate, isn't it?
That's a really healthy debate.
Well, we all know that the sun is actually a flying saucer. That's the glorious light, isn't it? Because it flies around the Earth.
Yeah, we don't move. The sun flies around us,
and
then it like deposits information every couple of thousand years on how to build pyramids.
That's what happened to the Dogon.
That's what happened to the Dogon. When are we going to get visited? The Eureka Skydeck. How is that humanly possible? Obviously aliens.
Well, we know it's been here since about 0 BC.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's time to,
we just went too far.
to kick back.
Okay, so actually a little interesting fact about the pyramids is that they used to be covered in this like white smooth limestone. Stone. So
and it was stolen.
Was it stolen?
I don't know. I thought
that.
I'm just having a guess.
No, it just looked like the pyramids used to be like basically white.
Wow.
Because when the sun would reflect off them, they were like these huge white structures. So amidst my conspiracy research, I definitely got carried away imagining what it would have been like to just walk around in those days and just see these monstrously big pyramids that were just like
completely
shining
white. Yeah, so sick.
Like that's crazy.
Entirely white, like structures just get me going so much.
Oh,
like
yeah.
even in Greece, like Greek islands.
Yeah, let's
and
talk
like
about that. White structures.
And also interior, like you have an old house, but it's completely whitewashed on the inside. Like
on a beach.
Gets me going on a beach.
Oh my god.
Like in the house in Call Me by Your Name.
Yes.
So good.
We'll have to talk about that movie at some stage.
Yeah, we should.
So much to talk about. Okay, now this limestone, back to the conspiracy, was only available on the other end of the Nile River, which is fucking long, right? So in those 23 years, they had to bring tons upon tons, hundreds of tons of this limestone down the river. Now, were the Egyptians a really advanced civilization who were really smart and we don't give them enough credit for what they did? Or was it aliens?
It's hard to choose. Probably aliens.
I think
I will
so.
say I know they had rafts that they used to cross stone to the other side of the Nile. But
no, they didn't. It was alien spacecraft.
No, I forgot, man. No, I forgot. No, that makes so much sense because there was so much stone.
Yeah, and the
glorious
light, bro. The glorious light.
The glorious light. So, okay.
I believe.
Okay. So your conspiracy was
that aliens built the pyramids because the Egyptians at the time
and that they
visited other ancient civilizations. How do you feel about that?
I feel like there's potential that they visited the Dogon, like for sure.
Marcel was telling the truth.
Well, yeah, like if we could find an actual, like if I could see a primary source that said that said that they knew about that A star orbiting, B orbiting A or whatever.
Yeah, which that's you can't really see with the human eye. That is really interesting, yeah.
Like we know that there was so many advanced astronomical discoveries, like in civilizations where we would have thought they're all just like, primitive.
Genuinely. Straight up. So doing this research into this conspiracy, obviously it was like my focus was aliens. And
As was mine.
And I'm a full-fledged believer now.
Yeah.
But Something else that's really caught my interest is just the fact that, and this, I'm being legit right now. Obviously, I'm legit about the aliens, but right now I'm being legit.
For real?
Like straight up, for real.
So you're for real?
For real. Do we give ancient civilizations enough credit?
No freaking way.
I think we're missing a lot of information. I was talking about the library before. Mate, the amount of information we would have lost, that like mathematical theories, astronomical theories, like religions, history in general, written history, is fucked. Like that library was so big and there was so much in it, and then it burnt down. So like what?
But then again, I don't know. It's hard to say because I feel like there's so much that ancient civilizations did that we're like only hardly taught about, because we only get really things from that Western meta. Like everything's relevant to our side of the world.
And we
like
get that AD. We're only taught that AD shit.
Yeah.
You know,
not that BC shit.
Not that BC. I want to jump on that BC grind.
So interesting. Like I was reading a book the other day. Really, this is so cool. I've got it with me. Should I get it out?
Yes, get it out.
Get it out.
Quick shout out to the author.
Shout out to the author, Tim Marshall, author of Divided: Why We're Living in an Age of Walls, has a segment on Africa.
Welcome back. Again, we had technical difficulties. We're still figuring this out, but Curtis's mic stopped running.
Yeah.
And it's running again now. So we're back to it. We were talking about the book, and
we're going to get through this.
All
right.
So the book mentioned Africa.
The book did mention Africa.
Go.
Okay. Nigeria.
Yes.
Western Africa.
Gotcha.
Capital. Not sure if the capital is Lagos, but it's a big city there. And driving several hours east of Lagos, you'll find a massive walled city known as Benin City. The archaeological remains of it, not the actual city itself, which is the capital of the Benin Empire. So when the Portuguese discovered it in the 15th century, they found a massive walled city, walls 66 feet high, and there was okay, let me go. Let me just go from the book. Go off the book. It says it better than I will. So, the city was surrounded by massive walls up to 66 feet high, exceptionally deep ditches, all of which were guarded. The 1974 edition, and this is the interesting part, of the Guinness Book of Records says that the city walls, together with those in the kingdom as a whole, were the world's second largest earthworks carried out prior to the mechanical era.
Massive.
And we were thinking perhaps the first largest earthworks was
probably the pyramids. Are they earthworks though?
Don't know. I mean,
that's sort of irrelevant.
Okay. The design of the city appears to have been laid out according to the rules of what we now call fractal design, complex repeating patterns exhibiting similar patterns at increasingly small scales. Go and look at a tree. That's a fractal pattern. You can see what a fractal pattern looks like. In the city centre was the King's Palace, which oversaw a highly bureaucratic society. From this, it fanned out 30 main streets, about 120 feet wide, running at right angles to each other, all with narrow streets leading off them.
So it's really well designed.
It's basically incredibly precisely designed.
Okay.
Like not when you'd think Africa, you think primitive tribes.
Yeah.
No, that's not the case.
The
second most advanced earthworks in the world at the time.
All right, you're wrong.
Okay?
You're wrong.
Huh? Yeah. The city was split into 11 neighbourhoods. Some were lit at night by tall metal lamps burning palm oil-fueled wicks that illuminated the extensive artwork to be found across the city. There was a moat system. Outside the city were about 500 walled villages that were smaller. The city was wealthy, industrious, and so well governed that theft was unknown and that people lived in such security that they have no doors to their houses. So we were just talking about...
no small Circle Ks.
No.
The equivalent of would have been robbed by backpackers.
Yes.
Okay.
Circle K, Vietnamese 7-Eleven franchise, essentially.
Sorry, I just tangented your tangent.
No, that's okay.
Continue.
Okay, double tangent. So, West Africa, no surprise, Dogon tribe.
That's exactly what I was talking about. They were visited by aliens. And this West African civilization that you're talking about,
the Benin
Empire, were insanely advanced for the time period they existed in.
And in a very similar geographical region.
Very similar.
The same.
Literally both in West Africa.
Coincidence?
I think not.
I think not.
Aliens? I think yes.
I think yes, obviously.
Obviously.
Okay.
So there are our conspiracies. We had your one, which was aliens in the military space station base.
Pine Gap.
Pine Gap.
Military research
There's
facility.
so much information
Northern
flying
Territory.
around my head.
You know, and if anyone can find out anything more about that, please let me know. And Owen's, yours was...
Aliens visited ancient civilizations and, more specifically, helped build the Great Pyramids. The Great Pyramid itself.
Is there a surprise that we both talked about aliens? Obviously not, because aliens would make us do what they want us to do.
Exactly right. Aliens have put chemicals in the water, which not only are turning the frogs gay, as Alex Jones conspiracy... What do you say when you... Theorized?
That man.
But the water is also getting us to talk more about aliens. The aliens don't want everyone to find out at once. They want a couple of... We're beacons of truth.
Basically,
and they want us to share that light and create more beacons of truth.
They probably chose us, maybe.
It's going to be like a whole heap of candles slowly lighting up. Of truth. It's time to stop talking.
Next section. We've realised that if we don't stay on top of our agenda, these episodes could just not stop. So we need to keep going.
At all. Yeah, okay, next up. Conspiracies, done. Hit us up with any other conspiracies because we'll probably do another episode. And yeah, okay, stop. Conspiracies are done. We're done.
We're done.
Time
Next
to reveal
part,
the new segments.
we're going to reveal the new segments that you can expect every week.
Yes.
I mean, not every week, every episode.
Every episode, whether that's weekly or fortnightly, there's going to be these same segments in the episode, and they're going to be good.
You say what one of them's going to be.
The first one is going to be Music of the Week.
Music of the week. What we've been listening to all week. Like, we have to name one or few artists or albums and just
albums.
Describe.
Talk about, like, why are we listening to that at the moment?
Mm-hmm.
Is it helping us get through a tough time?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it just really good? You know, like...
Should we do it right now, that first segment? Or should we introduce the other one first?
Introduce the other one first.
Okay, so... And the other challenge, I mean,
You
so I've spoiled it, alright? The other segment is going to be the fortnightly challenge, roughly fortnightly. So into episode challenge. In between each episode, we're going to be taking on a challenge, which we're probably basically going to try and do a repeated behaviour every day.
Yeah.
Probably not. Oh, so...
A challenge that has a goal to work towards.
A challenge that we're going to act upon and try and win, essentially, or do in between each episode. And then we get back to you with the reports of our experiences.
Yeah, and the challenges will basically follow along with the topic we're talking about.
Yeah.
So if we do a topic on nutrition and intermittent fasting will probably be the challenge. We spoke about that in the first episode. Yeah.
We did.
And another one, cold showers, was another challenge that you brought forth, which is interesting, mate, because it's winter.
Cold showers, intermittent fasting. You had longest distance ran or cycled between us.
Yep.
And there was also another one, the weight loss challenge.
The weight loss
calories burnt.
Yeah. So we'd both get a heart rate monitor or something and see who can burn the most calories in a week. And that would be part of the fitness and exercise one.
Exactly.
And the weight loss one, if we did that, it would probably go further than a week because it could get a bit extreme trying to drop a lot of weight in 1 week.
Yeah. No, it just might be like who's going to lose half a kilo, which isn't that exciting.
It's not exciting at all.
Okay, those are the 2 segments that you can expect from us each week.
Yeah, and
let
of
us
course,
know what you want to see on those segments.
Definitely, and as always, if you have any other segments you'd like to see, we've already had suggestions from some of our friends. Shout out to Emma and Lucy, who brought forward an idea, which was conspiracies at the end of every episode.
Obviously, we didn't listen to you. But we did. We listened to you and we just decided we're going to try something different for now.
Yeah. So bring forward your ideas for any segments and we'll jump straight into that. And just get in touch, just communicate, just connect.
Segment 1. What music have you been listening to this week, Owen?
Music
of the week. What have you been listening to this week, Owen?
Music of the week. I have been listening non-stop to The Smiths. All right.
Fantastic.
So a little bit of background information about the Smiths, if my computer ever loads. The Smiths are an English band, and they specialize in the genre of, let's say maybe, is it post-punk? I kind of want to call it, but it's not post-punk.
I should
indie
know.
rock.
I used to listen to some of them, but I can't remember name a single
so
song.
Indie rock band of the 80s, marking the end of the synth-driven new wave and the beginning of the guitar rock that dominated English rock in the 90s. This is from Spotify, the bio, right? The group was indebted to the British invasion, crafting ringing melodic 3-minute pop singles, and their scope was very broad and they covered a lot. So,
Fantastic.
what have I been listening to from the Smiths specifically? There is a Light That Never Goes Out and Big Mouth Strikes Again are two of my favourite songs at the moment. They've been on repeat. Basically, the album The Queen Is Dead is quite enjoyable, which is good. And I'm losing track of what I'm talking about now, but I've been listening to the Smiths. Why have I been listening to them? I think I've been listening to a lot of techno and house for the past month, so it's nice to jump back into something that's a little bit more instrumental, and there's lyrics, there's singing, you can connect with it a bit more. Not to say that techno and house are bad, but that's what I've been listening to, and I'm wrapping them.
You've got to shake it up.
I can't see myself stopping listening to them anytime soon.
Good
really
stuff.
enjoying it. So, who have you been listening to?
This past week, person I've been listening to the most would have to be Floating Points. So,
Nice.
Thank you. So interesting. Sort of what is that? What music does that man make? It's so hard to describe. It's like jazzy, mostly sort of ambient, jazzy,
very
breaky,
ambient.
a little bit of house, a few breaks, mostly ambient. So alternative techno music, I'd say.
Electronic?
Yeah, electronic.
Yeah.
Is a better word to describe it.
Probably, yeah. Good umbrella term.
My two favorite good songs by him I could recommend are ARP3 and Nuits Sonores. He also has a album that's a collection. It's called Late Night Tales with Floating Points. It's
Okay.
like a collection of like really relaxing tunes,
Yep.
like so good to go to sleep to.
Chill out.
And also the man's a neuroscientist in his spare time.
Just in your spare time.
So like obviously a very diverse, like very pretty intelligent person who's also simultaneously absolutely killing the alternative electronic music genre.
He is killing it, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people have probably heard of Floating Points out there. They just never.
King
actually
Bromeliad, like he's got this whole album that's more sort of funky, like it's not sort of hip hoppy beats even. Yeah, really, really, really good. That's who I've been listening to. Probably been listening to him because it's been good to study to, good to chill out to.
It is a big time for study at the moment.
It's not intrusive. It can be a background.
That's a problem I'm having with the Smiths. I really want to listen to them. I put them on when I'm studying, and I get too into it, and then I don't get any study done.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting there listening to the music and loving the music.
Spotify's Peaceful Piano playlist is really, really good.
I did check that out last night as I was studying. Really nice.
Good for just focusing.
Yeah. Another really good one for studying, and I swear by this, I've sworn by it since year 12 English, when I stumbled upon it. The Interstellar soundtrack, done by Hans Zimmer, is
I've heard of
insane.
Hans Zimmer.
It is insane to study to, because it's quite motivating, I'm not going to lie. You sit there and the music builds up and you're writing, and it's like, okay, yep, cool, I'm in my zone.
About to climax.
Hit that flow state, hit that study climax, that knowledge bomb. I was also going to say, in regards to the Smiths, if you're looking for any other bands, I can recommend Joy Division and New Order are both really good and very similar, and also The Current Joys, but The Current Joys can be a little bit depressing.
Right.
So they're a bit much at times. I had to stop listening to them because I was like, this is just sad.
Yeah.
I'm not getting anything out of this.
Yeah. It's vibes similar to Floating Points that I was letting you know about before. Alternative electronic, Aphex Twin and Square Pusher. Very, very, very chill sort of background electronic.
You were playing that before we started the podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I was.
Really enjoyed it. Can back that claim up.
Thank you.
Good music.
Segment 2.
The challenge.
The challenge of the week. Should we just call it challenge of the week?
Challenge of the week. Yeah, but then we have to do weekly episodes.
Should we just call it, what kind of challenge?
Welcome to our episode planning discussion.
Yeah. It's called On the Fly. We're doing this on the fly.
Just jump in the back seat and watch us take control.
What can it be called, honestly? Okay, let us know if you've got a good idea for an in-between challenge segment name. And also, let us know what you'd love to see us do as a challenge.
Yeah.
We really would appreciate that.
Definitely, because we need some ideas.
We can't decide.
The challenge bank is dry.
Yeah, fill up that challenge bank. Please.
Nice.
Nice.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
What else do we have?
Mate, that's like pretty much the agenda.
That's pretty much it.
We're definitely forgetting something. We're going to finish the episode and go, oh shit, we forgot to do this.
We haven't decided what the next episode's topic's going to be. We're going to be doing that.
But we have so much. Should we rattle off a couple right now to get the excitement up?
Yeah, we've been thinking. We've got some really good ideas.
Okay.
Give us a few.
I'll go a few first. So, an episode on pet health. Your dogs, your cats, your guinea pigs, your rats. We've done conspiracies. An episode on the legalization/decriminalization of drugs. Mental health relating to sport. Thanks, Luke, for that one. Religion and spirituality. Thanks, Isaac Nolan, for that one. Psychology of life and death. And do you want to hit us up with a couple?
Favorite beers.
Yum.
So have a quick. That'll be a short, possibly even a segment.
Yeah.
Favorite beers. Finance and investments. So money management for young adults. So it could be a very good thing. I think we all could use some help in that department. You'll suck at that. Favorite movies and TV shows. Star signs. The mysteries of the universe. Very, very excited for that one. And then one more. We've got reviewing controversial documentaries. The list goes on. And the list goes on. Oh no. That's episode 2.
That's episode 2. We're going to wrap it up there.
Thank you.
It's a long episode.
It's been long.
Compared to our first 10-minute one, you guys are in for a treat.
Yeah.
Alright, you're going to get heaps of information.
So,
let us know, by the way, hit us up with some constructive criticism, please. Final. Hit us up with some constructive criticism, please. Because we're new to this, we need your help. You need to let us know what we can do better, what we're doing wrong, what we're doing right, so we can keep doing that. So just, slide into our DMs, get real oily and slide on in.
And also apologies for the technical difficulties, because we did fuck up this week. We fucked up twice, so hopefully we can manage to piece it together and make it sound good when you're watching or listening to it on your preferred device.
And how can they listen to this one?
Again, we have a Buzzsprout account, so buzzsprout.com, search up Culture Cafe. There shouldn't be any others there. There might be some.
No, there actually isn't. No, I checked.
And I think we'll put our YouTube link in the bio again, because that was a good way for people.
We'll slip the YouTube link in.
Yeah.
Sure. I think most of you watched it on YouTube, which is super
cool.
Just drop a couple of subscribes and likes, and
we got a lot more activity on YouTube than we expected. We're so happy with it.
Yeah,
thank you so much to everyone who's already been supporting this shit.
We are stoked with the initial reaction from you guys, all our friends, and even people that we don't really
didn't
know,
expect.
Getting involved, sending us a message with an idea or some feedback. It rocks.
Episode 2, Curtis signing out.
Owen also signing out. See you in the next episode.
Stay tuned for more Culture Cafe productions.